set a spell, it's time for another episode of The Evidence. This is your buddy Dave over at Mars X3D. And we're going to look at a couple of things from the Sol 2597 M100 PDS by Neville Thompson. It's a little bit blurry, but still it's got stuff we need to look at. And this one is kind of a throwaway. I almost didn't include it in the lineup, but the two pieces in the target area were just non-fractal enough to give me pause. They're not as crisp as I like my anomalies to be, but they're worth a look. These two items look kind of tattered to me and busted apart, like maybe they were part of the same transmogrifier at one time. Let's take them one at a time. Look at all those right angles. That's symmetry. Is that a rock? Well, I guess it could be, but I really don't think so. And here's its buddy. Stop and think for a minute. If these were rocks eroded by wind and sand, why do they have so many spindly pieces sticking out? They'd wear off first, wouldn't they? That makes me think they're metal or some other substance and might have been part of a machine at one time. Yeah, I know these aren't stop the presses material, but like I said, they're worth a look. Honestly, sometimes it's kind of hard to draw a line between rocks that have been eroded in a unique way and purposeful carving. There's lots of borderline examples I've published, along with a certain number of ironclad, genuine, handcrafted items. When I looked at this one close up, well, there was something fishy about it. See what I mean? This strikes me as a highly stylized ornamental carving of a fish, but that's just me. I don't know what it is, but the lines suggest outright purpose to me. And take a look just behind it. That looks like a piece that was broken off. Let's step in just a bit closer. Okay, we're about at the breakup point here. Check out the details and also check out the two locator dots. Those two pieces back of the broken off piece are totally unnatural. I wonder if they belong to the fish. I imagine the whole thing tumbling down the cliff, getting a good whack on a rock at the bottom, splitting up into a couple of pieces, and coming to rest in the sand. In any case, I'm calling dibs on this one if we ever get up there. I mean, up there publicly, but let's not go there right now. In case you didn't know, non-fractal analysis of off-world imagery is my superpower. Don't make me use it on you. Actually, all that means is that I've had a ton of experience locating manufactured stuff hidden on fractal or otherwise organic backgrounds. So when I find something that might have been from a critter, well, I kind of puff up and strut around the house a bit. Doesn't last long though, reality is like that. Now, this thing in the context view didn't jump out at me. It was only under magnification that I got fascinated with it. Oh, how I wish we had a high res on this one. To me, that looks like a horse's palate, the top of the mouth lying upside down on the ground. The molars are still in place, but the front incisors are missing. If it's really organic and not just a ventifact, that's a fancy word for something made by wind and sand, I seriously doubt it was a horse. Nevertheless, form follows function in terms of biological design, and this could have been some kind of cud-chewing animal, like my ex-wife, for example. Her face wasn't that long, though. Okay, let's wrap things up with another one of Neville Thompson's gorgeous PDSs. Crisp and clean and a gorgeous blue sky to boot. I'm so glad NASA has finally relented on that blue sky business. I think of all the thousands of images they mucked up with that pukey red dust cover just to literally keep us in the dark. And for what? Take a look at the target area way off on the hilltop to the left. Looks like just a rock from here, doesn't it? This is crazy, isn't it? I've called it an observation post because it looks like a modular construction, and it's on a hilltop with a magnificent view of the valley below. I know some of you are going to insist it's a ship, a craft of some kind, and sure, it could be, except for a couple of things. For example, all of that debris surrounding it is non-fractal, like stuff they've tossed down the hill into the trash heap. Look at the locator dot on the lower right. Those are tools and containers to my eyes. And what about the dot in the middle left of center? That's a slotted piece of circular metal. The main item is pretty cool, a cylinder with rings, slots, and maybe doors. Here's a tip. NASA doesn't pay close attention to the horizon, which is why we find some pretty amazing stuff now and then. The trade-off, of course, is that being so far away, it requires a ton of magnification, which means blurriness. Can you imagine what a high-res image of this would reveal? As it is, we can make out enough to know for certain this is artificial. Hey, thanks for stopping by and having a look today. There is a whole lot more to come. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And in the meantime, this is your buddy Dave over at Mars X3D. Be well.